I'm here, really, I'm here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, listen, good morning. So, how's everybody been? Had a good week? Been busy. Um, but yeah, good morning. So, this week, again, this is a tutorial based on a request from a viewer. We're going to work on continuous border. Let's say you've got a curtain valance or a tablecloth and you want to pretty it up. You want to put something along the whole edge. Good morning, Diane. Good morning. Good morning. Well, putting it on the whole edge, one right after the other, and they connect, that's called a continuous border. Miranda's here. Good morning. This one's for you. So, how do you do that? Well, there are two setups you have to create and blend together. One is your file setup. You need to set up your files, your what am I trying to say? Your design files to in the order that you want them to be. You have to do this being aware of your hoop size. Who we got here? Oh, we have Gail, and Joanne. Well, hello, good morning. Um, so you have your design, and you need to set that up so that it fits in your hoop, the hoop you want to do. Good morning, Barb. Barb is here. Good morning, Barb. Um, and then you have to set up your hoop. Yeah, we'll get to that too. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pull this up here. Now, if you have a question, don't, just pop it in the comments and I'll get to it. Um, this this is for demonstration purposes only. The green outline here represents our 8 by 12 hoop, um, or whatever size hoop you want to use. And I chose a design file that that I had in my stock designs. This is not one of mine. This one is from OESD, and it's the Radiant Blossoms 2. That's a really nice set, but it came to me in just one piece that I duplicated and flipped and set up. Okay? And then the next set will continue from there. I'm going to backspace so that uh, we get back to where we were. The other thing I did, and this is more for you, for your visual. Who else have we got here? Boom slang. We have a boom slang. Good morning. I set up some guidelines, and that's all they are, just guidelines. You don't need to do this. I mean, you can, obviously. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to say you shouldn't. But I set them up so that I can show you the alignment. I can show you that our designs files are in the same position, one on the left, one on the right. Okay, so what did I do that was special to this? Something that I did in addition to this was I set up a basting stitch. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Gail. Good to see you. Good morning. Oh, Let's see what Barb has to say. Barb is saying, after Eric's video, Eric, who is a friend of ours, Eric Campbell, he does a Friday video blog called The Take Up. Look for him. He did a video yesterday on borders and reworking files. Barb says she's delving into the types of corner settings in Wilcom. I'd like to see some of what you're doing with that. That sounds exciting. Okay, so I created this basting stitch, and it's just an alignment stitch. I put it at the end, and again, it's a 5 millimeter long basting stitch with no tie-ins. I don't want to deal with the knots. But it's just a guide. It's something that we're going to use to help us in our alignment in the hoop. And when we're done, we just take our seam ripper and we just pull it out. It doesn't have any tie-ins. There isn't anything to clip. It's a wide enough stitch to where it's just going to come right out. Now, so we've got that in place. And this aligns with the very bottom of our design file and the very side of our design file. Okay? Now, the other thing that I do when I set up for a border is I place my start and stops in the corner that I want my needle to start at. The alignment. When you're using your machine, whether it's a multi-needle or a single needle, you're going to move the frame so that the needle position is at the start position. Okay? So if we were to set it at center, it would start off in the wrong place. But we need to set our needle at a start position, and that's right here. It's also our end position, and we want that. It's very important that we want that, because when we move the fabric over to the new position, and this is our last position, our last stitch position, that's where the needle's going to stop. When we move the fabric, when we move it left, that dot right there, that last stitch, is going to be moved over and become our first needle start position. Does everybody understand that? Gail, it's not really complicated. I've just put a lot on here as a guide so that you can see how to set up your design. Because you want to set it up so that at the machine you have a flow. You stitch the pattern, you move the file, you move the fabric. Stitch the pattern, you move the fabric. And you need to be able to consistently move the fabric from one position to the next and getting it right. Because if we don't do all of this, we're going to get kind of wonky, or we're going to flip. Something is not going to align. And that's the whole idea of a border, is to have it all aligned. Okay. Excuse me one moment. She was referring to all the icons on my screen. Well, yeah, those are all shortcuts. you can digitize without any of this. All you need when you're digitizing is a running stitch, a tatami fill, and a satin column. And then you can digitize everything. But I like the shortcuts. Um, for example, if I want a running stitch, ta-da, running stitch. But what if I want that to be a satin column? Ta-da, satin column. Just that easy. Well, anyways, we're going to get rid of the satin column because we really don't need it. So yeah, I like all the little shortcuts. So we've laid out our design. And we know that when we move, let me get back up here. We know that when we move the fabric, we're gonna move it to our next start position. That point, this last stitch point becomes our first needle point here. Our needle placement here. Oh, good, Gail. Gail says she signed up for a mini class. Um, I love education. You know, education is wonderful. It helps us move forward. So that's how we set up our design file. Let me know if you have any questions. Just pop them in there. Now we need to figure out how to set up our hoop, so that we can make sure that we've got a consistent shift of the fabric. Hold on one moment. And for that, oh, I probably should have set up one more. And I know my screen shows an 8x12, but I thought that was a bit large for this part. And I'm using black fabric because I want it to be easier for you to see. But this is my 5x7 hoop. And you can do a border with a 5x7 hoop. You just have more hoopings. So here we are. This is a 5x7 hoop. I have the fabric laid in, and you can't really see this, but laid in at the edge of the hoop. Just enough for the hoop to hold the fabric. And of course there would be stabilizer. But just enough to hold, hey Doug, Doug made it. Good morning, Doug. But just enough to hold the fabric in place. Now I am going to do that consistently every time I shift the fabric. All right. Every time I have to open this hoop and move the fabric over so that I have my next progression in my border, I am going to align the fabric at my edge. Now, however you decide to align your fabric in your hoop, just remember you need to be consistent. You need to do it the same way every time. So, oh, Gail. Actually, Gail, they're not keychains. They are just samples of the work that I've done in the last couple of weeks. I try to change them out every once in a while. Thank you. So again, you want to be consistent in how you move the fabric from left to right. The other thing that I did was I wanted to make sure that I was going to align in the same position. So I placed a bit of tape, and this is about 1 inch up from inside the hoop. I have about an inch of fabric in my hoop, and this is about 1 inch up from from the bottom of the hoop, the inside of the hoop. You can use a ruler to help measure this out. Um, but again, it's just a guide. Now, the one thing that I didn't do that I should have done, and let's see what I have here. Do I have something that I can do this with? I need to make sure that I align, oh, that's not the right color. That's going to be hard to see. All right. You know, I keep so much stuff here at my desk. So I'm just going to cut off a piece of this. I like having things in reach. Scissors, tape, whatever it might be. So I am going to, actually I should do it the other way. Sorry, one moment please. Okay, I laid another piece of tape. Good morning, Letty's here. Good morning. I just gave you a sub. Now I'm on your bus. I think I missed your shorthand, but I'm glad to see you here. Thank you. And Letty said she was making soups. Letty, did you make enough for everybody? All right. So the one thing that I forgot to do was where I wanted my start, where I wanted to move the fabric. Remember at the end, we have this basting stitch. Well, that basting stitch is again going to move, coming back at you. Oh, where's my mouse? There it is. That basting stitch is going to move and align wherever I want my start to align. All right, so I know where I want it to. Oh, and I did this upside down. Sorry about that. Sorry for the confusion. I know where I want it to align left to right. There we go. I know where I want it to align across. You know, that'll be the bottom of my design file. And I know where I want the start position to be. I want to move that basting stitch over so that it's in a line with my start position. The whole thing, it needs consistency. You need to move the fabric left to right. Oh, Letty's inviting us down for soup. She's making a double batch of cheeseburger soup. Oh, me. So be consistent. Set up your design file in your software so that you can take it to your machine. Know where your start and stop is going to be. Set up a guide for when you shift. Now, everything we've been talking about here has been using a regular machine hoop. Do you know that there are continuous, what is it called? Continuous hoops. Anyways, I did a Google. Let me find it. Oh, there we are. I did a Google, embroidery hoops for a continuous border. Now, yeah, I've seen them mostly with the single needle flatbed machines. But look, this is one for Baby Lock brother machine. Yeah, it's got everything. And what makes these nice is that this part here is a clamping system, and you you clip or you release the pressure, you move the fabric, and you reposition the pressure. Now, if you want to do a continuous, if you want to have a hoop like this, you might be able to make one for your machine. All you would need to do, and maybe not even that if your machine's arms are adjustable, is you need to get brackets that will put the continuous hoop in center position and hold on, slide into your brackets. Yeah, it's a possibility. Oh my. Joanne says that the baby lock uh, continuous border hoop works well, that she did a 30-foot border, 30 feet, easy. That's impressive. That's impressive. Um, so yeah, I would consider getting this continuous hoop for a multi-needle machine and setting it up. Oh, hold on just a moment. We'll get right there. And setting it up for the machine I'm using. But look, this would work. What about gator clamps? Are you guys familiar with gator clamps? Let me just look them up for you. Gator clamps. Oh, those are not the gator clamps. Sorry. Gator clamp for embroidery. That's better. Again, same kind of concept as the continuous hoop. You release the pressure, right? You release the pressure on the clamp. This is nice. You release the pressure. It allows you to move your fabric over and position that correctly, and then you re-engage the pressure. That that would be a good idea. That would work. I would still mark where I needed things to be, so that when I moved the fabric over, I can get it back in its same position. And if I'm using a gator clamp, I would make all of my fabric shifting markings. Here I did them at the bottom of the hoop. On a gator clamp, I would make those markings at the top of the hoop, just for the consistency. That's a good idea. I like the gator clamps. Gail says she uses gator clamps for tight spaces and unusual, and I'm thinking unusual garment positioning. Okay, so that's what we've got here today. What do you think? Everybody excited to go out and do their first border, their first continuous border? Where am I? There we are. Oh, we're a little short this week. I hope you don't mind. I need some more coffee. I talk too much. Okay, so with that in mind, um, again, if you have a technique that you're unsure of or too adventurous, Gail says that a continuous border is too adventurous for her. Yeah, we're gonna send her this beautiful white linen tablecloth and ask her to put poinsettias all the way around. What do you think? Christmas season's coming up. Oh, Barb, yes, gator clamps are great. I have to admit, that's the one clamp I don't have right now, but it might be worth the investment. So again, if you have any kind of technique that you want to get more information on, or you're unsure, even if it's a technique that I haven't done before, I will I will research it and I will pull it together and I will work it out and then I will show you what I've done. Um, these techniques are this is what I would do for this technique. All I'm saying is that there are many ways to get to the same place. Um, so maybe this is just a start and you'll find something that works better and easier for you. Let's see. Letty says that some of those hoop techs work great for continuous. Yeah, we'll have to look at those. Doug saying that the gator clamps are pretty expensive. You know, Doug, everything in machine embroidery is expensive. And Miranda, you're very welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, well, with that, people, I want to wish you all a great day. Have a great weekend. Yeah, Barb's right. Sorry, I got distracted. Barb's saying that most hoops are spendy. And like I said, everything in embroidery is spendy. So anyways, you guys have a great day. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. All right. If you have something, I'm sorry, I should have said this out loud. If you have something, I should have finished it. You can send me a message at quick2stitch. That's quick, the number two, stitch at gmail.com. Or you can send me messages on my social media or through my website, quick2stitch.com. All right, everybody, have a great day. Let me get here. Bye bye. Fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quick2stitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machines, designs, and business. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.